The rain poured down like the sky was crying. Thunder roared across the small town of Asheville as lightning flashed, illuminating the lonely highway where the Iron Vultures Motorcycle Club stood, a place feared by many and respected by all. Inside, a group of rough, tattooed bikers laughed over a game of pool, music humming low in the background. It was a night like any other, until the bar door slammed open. Everyone turned. A tiny girl, maybe 6 or 7 years old, stumbled in, soaked to the bone, shivering, her small hands clutching a faded pink backpack to her chest. Her shoes were muddy, her hair tangled, and her eyes, wide with terror, searched the room like she'd just escaped something unspeakable. Please someone help me," she cried, her voice trembling as tears mixed with rain on her cheeks. "He's coming." For a second, silence filled the bar. Then every man inside, those who had seen war, blood, and heartbreak, froze. Because no matter how tough you were, seeing a terrified little girl beg for help hit a place you didn't know still existed. A CTA we wish. If this story already has your heart racing, make sure to hit like, drop a comment about what you'd do if this happened before your eyes, and subscribe to Kennis Universe, where real emotions and powerful stories come to life. The leader of the club, Bear, a 6'5" man with a thick beard and scars across his knuckles, slowly set down his beer. His deep voice rumbled through the tense room. "Sweetheart, you're safe here. Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. Now, tell me who's coming." The girl looked over her shoulder at the rain outside, her chest rising and falling fast. "The bad man, he hurt my mom." The room went cold. Bear exchanged a glance with Rocco, the club's medic, a former Army field doctor. Without a word, Rocco knelt beside the girl and draped his jacket over her shaking shoulders. "What's your name?" "Honey, Lily," she whispered. "Mommy said to run if he got angry again. She told me to keep this safe." She hugged the pink backpack tighter. Bear crouched beside her, his rough hands surprisingly gentle. "Can we see what's inside, Lily?" She hesitated, clutching it even closer. "Mummy said only someone kind can open it." Bear nodded, his voice soft. "Then you found the right people, kiddo." Outside, a motorcycle engine roared in the distance. Headlights flickered through the rain. Bear's eyes hardened instantly. "Kill the lights," he ordered. The bikers moved fast, switching off the lamps, locking the doors, and positioning themselves strategically around the girl. The rumble got closer. Through the crack in the window, a dark pickup truck stopped right outside. A man stumbled out, drunk and furious, shouting Lily's name. He had a belt in one hand, a half-empty bottle in the other.
"Lily, you little brat!
When I find you?" Bear's jaw tightened. Every muscle in his body screamed for control. He had seen men like this before, men who took their pain out on those too small to fight back. The man kicked the bar door, screaming, "You bikers seen a girl?" Bear stepped forward into the dim light. "You mean the one you scared half to death?" "She's my daughter," the man slurred. "And she's gonna learn what happens when she doesn't listen." Rocco quietly took Lily to the back, whispering, "Don't move, sweetheart." The rest of the bikers stood up, one by one, until the drunk man realized just how many of them there were. Bear crossed his arms. "You got 5 seconds to leave before I forget what mercy feels like." The man sneered, spitting on the floor. "You think you scare me? You're just trash on bikes." Bear didn't move. 4. The man's confidence wavered. 3. He backed up a little, eyes darting around. 2. Then something inside him broke. He lunged forward, swinging the belt. Bear caught his wrist midair, twisting it until the bottle dropped and shattered. The man screamed. The bikers surrounded him, not touching, just blocking every path to escape. "Last chance," Bear growled. "Away." The man spat blood, stumbled backward, and ran into the night. The roar of his engine faded into the storm. For a moment, all you could hear was Lily's sobbing from the back room. When Bear and Rocco entered, she flinched. But Rocco smiled softly. "He's gone, sweetheart. You're safe now." "Is Mommy okay?" she asked. Bear sighed. "Where's your mom, Lily?" She slowly opened the pink backpack. Inside was a folded piece of paper, a small photo of her and her mother at a park, and a flash drive. Mommy said to give it to someone who helps," Lily whispered. Bear exchanged a look with Rocco, who plugged the flash drive into his laptop. A video opened. On the screen appeared a young woman, Lily's mother. Her face was bruised, but her eyes were calm. "If you're watching this," she began, her voice trembling. "Then something's happened. My name is Grace Miller. My husband, Ethan Miller has been hurting me for years. I tried to protect Lily, but I knew it couldn't go on. He's connected to people, bad people. I recorded everything, names, money transfers, videos. It's all on that drive. Please get my daughter to the police." The video ended. The room went silent. Rocco shut the laptop, eyes blazing. "Bear, this guy isn't just a drunk. He's part of something bigger." Bear nodded slowly. "Then we finish what Grace started." The bikers didn't waste time. While Lily slept in a back room, wrapped in a leather jacket, they rode through the night. Engines growling like thunder through the storm. They tracked Ethan's truck to a motel on the edge of town. Inside, they found evidence of forged IDs, cash, and guns. Just like Grace had said, they called the sheriff, a woman named Clara Hayes, who'd known Bear since childhood. With the flash drive in hand, she finally had proof that Ethan's business wasn't just abusive, it was criminal. But before they could breathe easy, Ethan returned, armed and desperate. Shots rang out. The bikers ducked behind cars, protecting the sheriff and Lily, who had woken up terrified. Bear stood tall in the crossfire. "It ends here."
Ethan, you think you can take her from me?
Ethan screamed.
"She's mine."
"She was never yours." Bear growled and with one swift move, disarmed him. The sheriff cuffed Ethan as he spat curses that vanished into the storm. The nightmare was over. By morning, the storm had cleared. The sun broke through, painting the world gold again. Lily sat on the steps outside the bar, holding the photo of her mom. Sheriff Clara knelt beside her. "Your mom was brave, Lily. Because of her, a lot of bad people will never hurt anyone again." Lily looked up at Bear. "Can I stay here for a while?" Bear smiled softly. "You can stay as long as you want, kiddo." From that day on, the Iron Vultures weren't just bikers. They were Lily's family. They built her a little room at the clubhouse, helped her with school, and made sure she never felt alone again. And every night, before bed, Lily whispered, "Good night, Mommy," looking at the photo framed beside her bed. She didn't know if heaven could hear her, but she knew one thing for sure. Love always finds a way to protect the innocent even in the darkest places.